Hello, Suchibrata Roy from India. I invited you to my channel and Facebook page to have this discussion because both of us have a common interest about Israeli travelers to India. So first, I would like you to present yourself and say a few sentences about yourself, please.
First of all, thank you very much for having me here. I'm a socio-political analyst, and presently I'm doing my PhD in international relations from OP Jindal Global University in India. And my specialized area is Israel studies. And also I'm a research fellow in Institute for the Anti-Semitism Studies and Global Policy.
Okay, very interesting. So I would like to go to the first question. I have a few questions to ask you, and trying to make it as much as interesting for the people who are going to watch this video. So first of all, it's why did you start at all this research about the Israeli travelers in India? It's pretty niche, and Israelis, I guess, are not the most. There are other people traveling more to India, but something attracted you about this topic. So what is it?
Um, it's quite a common question. Most of the people ask me this question, that why this particular topic? And also I'm relating to international relations. Um, as I'm a socio-political analyst, and my research interest include Israel and Jewish studies. And also I'm a traveler, so I always explore mountain areas. So few years back, first time I saw Israeli travelers and the significant numbers of Israeli travelers in India, in particular area of Himalayas, and the relationship between local villagers and Israelis made me think about Israeli travelers and engagement with local Indian community. And I was very curious to know how they interact with each other. And also I have a lot of questions, that whether exchanges boost bilateral relations, and do they make a difference as a component in strengthening intergovernmental collaboration? One most interesting thing which I thought that it is very important to highlight, that even other dimensions of Israel-India relations have wide range of scholarly attention. However, this meta-narratives of socio-cultural positioning between young Israelis and Himalayan region of India, which contained valuable conceptual narratives beyond the Israel-India diplomatic relations, has hardly drew scholarly attention.
Okay. So the second question is, what do you think the Israelis travelers find in India and they can't find in any other destinations? You know, Israel is traveling a lot. They're traveling to Europe, traveling to South America, traveling to Asia, different places in Asia. But was my feeling when I released my video, that there is something which is very unique for India that attract Israelis, by the way, very different Israelis. It's not one like a shabloon of the Israelis, but different type of Israelis are being attracted to India, What do you think is the reason? What do you think they find in India that they can't find in other countries?
What I can say, I'm not saying from the perspectives of being Indian. I'm saying from the perspectives of Israelis, because I have interviewed many people. So I interviewed young Israelis, who was a traveler. So according to Israelis' perspective, young Israelis' perspective, India has lots of things to explore. It is in one country. There is mountain, desert, rivers, diversity, nature, history, multiple colors, cultures, languages, spirituality, even multiple recipes of food, which all cannot be experienced together in one place. So this is one of the major thing, and which fascinates young Israelis very much. And also the important thing, which very fascinating to me, most of the young Israelis, they told me that when I asked them, then why do you choose to come to India? They always said that it is a problem. It's not in a negative connotation, but in a positive note for Israeli, which means if someone visit India once, then must go back India again. And this is utterly impossible for young Israelis to ignore the magnetic charm of India. And they call it magic. They don't know. I always said, why magic? They said, like, there are multiple reasons behind they continue come and they repeatedly visit India, same place, even they share same room, they stay in the same room, and specifically in Himalayan region. And,
I would
so
tell you,
some
for
of them.
example, if I would say, for example, I would give a few options. Money, like India is not expensive relatively.
Yep.
Spiritualism, the size of the subcontinent that you can travel a lot without repeating the same place. People, very friendly. What would you pick up as like the biggest, the most significant one, if you can?
See, there are initially people might be the first angle. People might be thinking that most of the people from the tourism side, people think that because it's cheap, that's why Israelis come here, because it's affordable to stay and affordable to travel. It's cheap, so that's the first reason. That's one of the reasons, but not main reason. There are many things which actually Israelis come here, because Israelis, specifically my target area is young Israelis, those just finished their conscription and they come here. So at this juncture, that's a very critical time for those young Israelis, and they are very unique in nature, because I have closely observed those young people. So they are not mere tourists here. They come here with a different objective, and they opt for hardship. They opt for minimalized living, because they want to explore Indian culture. They want to explore, spirituality, many things. There are different kind of, there are multiple category. I cannot say that only one reason that's why all the people are coming here and all Israelis, young Israelis, following the same direction. It's not like that. They have
So
different.
This is actually the next question. How would you segment the Israeli travelers? Young, families, spiritual travelers. How would you segment them?
My area, I am concentrating on mainly young travelers aged 21 to 40, and my entire research I'm doing on this particular group of people on this area. And also I want to mention one thing which Israelis actually think, all young Israelis think, that India offers freedom. That freedom, it's a vast word, it's a very loaded word. It depends, it varies individual to individual, but India offers the freedom where they can come here and they can live their life, they can maintain their identity, and they can do anything. It does not mean always negative thing. Many people have negative perspective. They think that freedom means doing, rebellious thing, or freedom means smoking weed, or freedom means doing wrong things. It's not like that. Freedom, something matter differently. And they, on one more thing that most of the Israelis said, that it's people of India here, nobody judge them. So they can live their life the way they want to live. So these 2 points are very important, and these 2 points are very significant points, which I think these are also the valid points for them to come here.
I completely agree with this. The what you mentioned, that this freedom and not being judged and I found it difficult to explain to Indian people what what is my meaning. Um, what do I mean when I say that this is what we are experiencing as Israelis when traveling to India? In a few cases, they told me, "What freedom are you talking about?" Or, but I guess you have to be out of India in order to feel it when you are coming to India. The freedom to be yourself, to experience, to you have your own identity without being obligated to pretend that you are something else which is not like you. And this is something which is very common in the Western culture, but not in the Eastern culture. And in the Eastern culture, this is, I think, one of the strongest experiences when traveling. So I very agree with this um, insights you brought. One more question, a few more questions actually. Um, what is unique in the Israeli travelers in India? I mean, if you compare them to other tourists, or even if you are not comparing them, is there anything that's unique to them?
First of all, Israeli travelers are unlike other travelers. Israeli travelers, first of all, they don't come here for 1 week or few days. They come here for longer duration, and they stay here. They don't stay like they don't stay like leisure trip. They stay like very simple way and very what I can say, that's not the way normally people go and go for leisure trip. And they actually take this trip as a learning process,
Mhm.
which some way it helped them to transform their entire overall cognitive development. And many some of them, they take back the experience they gathered here, and they like the lifestyle of village people, the simple lifestyle. They want to incorporate all this mechanism by which they can live life with peace. They can combat against the rapid life in Israel, because Israel is very fast life. That's why they don't want to stay in city. They always live in remote villages. That is one of the difference between tourists and Israeli travelers. And also they come here and they do a lot of things, uh, not only hiking and wandering places. They engage into social development programs. They do volunteer in different villages. They work with NGOs in Dharamsala, and my area is Himachal, so I'm talking about mainly all those things in mountain areas. So they are doing many things. They are actually investing their time, their by engaging themselves into community development, community work with local people. They're actually um, economically they're uplifting the local village community, because they are staying here for longer period of time, and they are staying with the local people, local community. They are staying in the homestays, so people are getting, and this place particular, those villages, they do not have any other option except tourism. So for them, Israeli travelers actually create enhancing, actually not enhancing, they're actually supporting their livelihood. But numerically, this is compared to India's tourism, tourist data, it's numerically low. So that's why it has never been noticed that way. However, this villages, this Himachal Pradesh and these villages, they become, it looks like they're all Jewish colonies, because they all areas are, everything is everywhere you will go, you will find everything written in Hebrew, and the entire uh, community, local community, integrated into Israeli society. Even Israeli society also partially integrated to a local community. They also they love these people. That automatically invisible bond has created between these two people, both the nations,
Yes.
beyond the strategic cooperation.
Yes. Um, One more question is about it's something that I got when I published my video about the reasons why Israel is traveling to India. So I've got quite a few responses that this is because they can smoke weed. So I guess everyone that familiar a bit with India knows about in the north of India, Parvati Valley, Kasol, which is probably the capital of this area, at least capital of Israeli travelers there. So what do you think about this perception of the Israelis? Is it true?
Oh, I just wanted to know, you want to know is it Israeli perceptions or
No,
Indian perception about Israeli?
no. Do you think Israelis are traveling to India? Let's say definitely not all Israelis, but let's say a group of Israelis, maybe the young Israelis traveling to India in order to smoke weed. To find a place where they can smoke weed freely, without high cost, buy it very cheap prices, and just pass the time there 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and like nothing else exists in this world beside sitting and smoking weed. So, do you think there are really a group of Israelis that coming for this goal?
Uh, for this particular question, I wanted to say one thing, that India is big, okay, and there are many people that don't know anything about Israelis yet. They do not get, as of now, they haven't got any opportunity to encounter Israelis. So they don't know. So only few people, those are actually maybe through Facebook, because Facebook is accessible for everyone. Uh, some people, they don't know this. So there are newses. So, see, this weed, this drugs is worldwide phenomenon. It's a global issue. Every country, every country, few people, they definitely smoke. But it does not mean that only Israelis. And that particular place, Malana, which is 50 kilometers upper than Kasol, that's the place is, they cultivate this indigenous this crop. So, and it is very common in India and those places. So even local people also smoke. So it does not mean that Israelis are only coming for that weed. There are definitely, this is a huge market. There are people associated with this smuggling
Yes.
and all those stuff. Yes, Israelis' names are there, but it does not mean that this particular Israeli travelers, they are coming and they are doing this is illogical and unauthentic. So there is no such
By the
reports.
way, I would just add that until a few years ago, it was illegal to smoke in Israel. So maybe I could understand this, but today anyone who wants to smoke in Israel, he can do it for personal use, not to deal with it. So I think if anyone wants to smoke, they can do it almost freely in Israel. Not to deal with it because this is illegal, but to smoke. But
It's illegal in India as well, illegal
yes,
in India as well. But this, you have to understand. We have to understand the thing. This people of this group of people. We should think that we should understand that this group of people, they're young. They are coming here to explore everything. They are
yes,
not different from Indian youth. They are all same. But there are a
yes,
lot of difference between this age group of Indian youth and Israeli youth, because in the Israeli youth, they have experience, they are coming with the experience which Indian youth cannot imagine.
yes,
Okay, and so they're coming out, they're coming out from the, there are different kind of trauma they have suffered. So they're just coming out and they want to, stay away from all these things. So this is, it does not mean that everyone, because I have spoken to many young Israelis, and I never encountered of this kind of, drug addictions, or people did not say that, yeah, I smoke whole day, and I just, how many days people can stay with only smoking weeds?
Yes,
And
I
that
agree.
to criticize
It's
Israelis, to
depend on
criticize.
yeah, it's depend on the schedule, the money, and the travel plans that you have. But if you like the concept, maybe you can survive like these few weeks, I guess. Maybe. I have one more additional question is, do you think that this consistent traveling from Israel to India, which is for Israel, it's definitely a phenomena. Because though we are traveling to the United States, we are traveling to Europe, but I cannot define that traveling to the US is a phenomena. I cannot say that traveling to Europe is phenomena. Traveling to India is phenomena because of the atmosphere of these travelers, and of the traveling itself, and the experience, and what it makes to the people who are traveling. So I just want to ask you, do you think that this has effect on the general, on the big India-Israel relations, between the governments, the business, and the armies, all of this? This traveling has any effect on this, on the big relations between the countries?
You're telling, you're asking that whether this, because India Israel is at this moment a higher level of
Yes,
strategic
I agree,
relationship,
but
that's
I
why
agree,
these
but
people come or not.
no. My question is, for example, you can say that the relationships now, maybe because there are very good relationships between Modi and Netanyahu. Second, both are ancient cultures. Third, there are common interests between the two countries. But my question is referring only to the travelers. Do you think that the travelers have any effect on the global relations between the countries? Or is just some like a byproduct, or is something which is very margin phenomena, but it has no effect on the relationships between the countries?
Um,
So, for example, I
Even
can give an example. Let's say that so many Israelis are traveling, and this creates any kind of effect on the Indians, and because of this, Indians like Israel more, and because of this, the politicians maybe like Israel. I don't know, this kind of chain of events that lead eventually to better relations between the countries. I just wonder, what do you think as an Indian, if you see any effect to the traveling from Israel to India on the global relations between the countries? Does it bring more of business?
more, I mean to say that whether this traveling is contributing to strengthening the relationship or not.
Yes.
Yeah, that is my actually claim, and that hypothetically I wanted to say that first of all, any country relationship, to sustain the diplomatic relationship, it is very much required to have people to people connection. Even though this people to people connection normally, it is not generally mainstream public diplomacy, so it is always peripheral. It gets peripheral reference in any official diplomatic reference, diplomatic document. However, I feel that this particular Israeli travelers in India, this particular community and this group, this is not the new phenomenon, and this is an old phenomenon, and they have been. It's been 30 years, and it's the development happened between this people to people. It happened due to this group of people, because they came here and they, again, when they return back to Israel, they have popularized Indian culture. People get to know through them, because being Israeli, that Israelis always have a community
Like to
bonding.
talk.
They do believe in with their fellow Israeli, rather than believing in any endorsement or campaign or any advertisement. So um, Israeli travelers somehow, they actually represent India, they have been representing India to Israeli society, and they actually introduced yoga and Indian culture, Indian music, and so more Israelis got curious to know about India, and this development, what happened now in India, in different mountain villages, it's become Jewish. Someone it's called Kasol is called mini Israel. This Dharamkot is called Tel Aviv in hills. Why it
Yeah.
not happened within these 4-5 years when Benjamin Netanyahu and Modi's relation got at a higher level? It happens gradually. It happens since long. So I feel that on the basis of the entire analysis and the past details and historical details, I feel that Israeli travelers contribution one of the significant factor, and uh, in strengthening the relationship between Israel and India, because what I feel even now, both the government should uh, give some importance on this particular area, which I say this is a new what I can conceptualize as a new diplomacy. It's called, I am saying it's 2.5 diplomacy. It's a new element of public diplomacy, which I conceptualize as a theory, that where this individual to individual actually diplomatically, the individual to individual dialogue and non-state actors involvement, actually making this relation more strong, getting more stronger. And what I feel like, every this public diplomacy, the government, they have some limitation. They cannot access mass. They have limitations. So only a country, both country get more close when those people get more close, and civil people, civil society get close, and which happen even though in the Israeli India embassies, they're working, they're doing public diplomacy, they're Twitter, they're always on, they're connecting people, but India is a big country.
Yes.
Okay, and India is not that much developed. Israel is small. Maybe Israel, everybody can access internet, everyone can access online, but Indians not. Indians are very limited people. They are they access social networking platform. So it's very difficult for government, or their limited access to reach mass. So it's only possible when individual, people to people, normal individual can more get into the relationship, which happened Israeli travelers. Now this becomes second home. I mean, all Israeli channels, they talk about India is a second home. And and I'm amazed to see your Facebook page, and there are so many channels, so many Facebook pages, they're talking about Israeli travelers. So I think this is one of the significant contributor which Israeli travelers is playing a role, which which is like in boosting relationship between Israel and India for future, for sustainable relationship, prolonged relationship.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there is a place in India, maybe area, not a place, India is so big, area in India that the Israeli travelers did not cover yet?
Many, many,
A few tips.
because Israeli travelers actually covers only Himachal, Himachal
Yeah.
and nearby Leh, Ladakh, and south. And I think little bit nowadays people are coming. They're going
Rishikesh,
to
Varanasi. Yeah. And,
Rishikesh, Varanasi, Rishikesh. It's been 20 years. People are going there. Those are spiritually and religiously
yes.
inclined because Judaism and Hinduism and India and Jews have long historical relations.
Mhm.
So they come, and Varanasi is always, before Israelis, Varanasi was famous for hippies destination. So
Yes.
but anyways, but there are places like in Uttarakhand. Israelis are now only going one place that's called Kasar Devi. There is a Chabad house, so it's only one place they are exploring. But it's in high altitude in Almora, but there are places. And also Israelis should explore Eastern India, Northeastern
Eastern India,
India,
yeah.
and the
This is
tribal
where is the
villages.
main rural area of India.
Yeah, and this and also the tribal areas in Eastern India.
Okay.
Those places Israelis should go, because Israelis are very adventurous. First of all, they're open for any ideas, and they have their. I found that they have their blood, that somehow, that's because they're coming from startup nation. They want to do anything. They can start anything. So they have that kind of
Yeah.
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So I feel that Israeli youth and Indian youth, if they collaborate together, and there would be, there would be blast. there, there would be fantastic.
So last question. If you have to give one tip to the Israeli travelers, what would it be?
First, and a very important tip, not tip actually, I request that they should, because they actually utilize their time very well here. So they do volunteer, they do teach to people. And they offer yoga classes. I I recommend they should start teaching Hebrew language, because
Really?
it is not available here
Do you
in
think
India.
Indians? Do you think there will be interest in this? Why
Yes,
would Indian would like to learn Hebrew language?
because nowadays, Indian youth are very much interested, especially, even though Israel studies are not not frequently available in Indian universities, but few private universities and government universities, they offer Israel studies. And there are people, those are the young students, they are very much interested to study Israel studies, because they are first question when you ask any young Indian, that why do you want to Israel studies, they are actually in over they admire Israelis, the macho image of Israelis. They love, they actually, they feel Israelis are hero. So somehow
Okay.
people are interested to, they're inclined, they're getting more interest in Israel studies, so they want to know Hebrew. Otherwise
So
it's very
you're
difficult.
suggesting your tip is for Israeli travelers to make the volunteering, or
And
not even
also,
volunteering, maybe they can even work in this.
yes, and also, like, there are people are interested for doing business with Israel. So there are people, they go for business visit in Israel. There are farmers, they are doing regularly working on Israel, with Israel, for various agriculture things. So they are
Hmm.
not that much educated, but they want to speak, they want to communicate.
Yeah.
So Hebrew would be very essential. Even I want to learn, because I'm requesting Israeli embassy that please start, but it's not happening.
Okay,
And second thing,
I can try to help with this. It's not an easy language. Um,
and second
okay.
thing, second tip, last and
Yes.
final
Yes.
tip, that Israelis should try to more interact with more Indians, not only limited to villages.
I agree.
Because otherwise Israelis have they will have, you know, some kind of perception about Indians. So they will know more about Indians because, you know, India is a big country, different
I
ethnicity,
agree.
different cultures, so different
Yes.
mentality.
Israel,
So
it's
that's
like
the thing.
sometimes it's like penguins, you know, they like to stand there all together and all going to the same restaurant together. They're going to the same guest house together, same Bet Chabad, and all of this. So I agree with you. It's very important that eventually, if you want to experience India as much as possible in the short time that you are going to be there, even 2, 3 months is short time for what India has to offer. So you better be more friendly and more engaged with the locals. This will enable you to experience the culture in a stronger way. I completely agree with this tip, and it's definitely
And in,
relevant for Israelis.
and Indian should know Israelis also, because
Yes,
Indian don't know much about Israelis. They should know
yes,
about Israelis. That is also one of the my interest.
yeah, and my interest as well. So this is why we are talking. Thank you very much for your time. I hope we are going to have more discussions like this because I feel this is like an endless topic. We can go deeper in some of
Yes.
the topics for sure. We just went now was very high level discussion. So thank you very much, and
Thank you
we'll
so
talk.
much, Yuval. I have a pleasure talking to you. It's really a very stimulating discussion, you know, and it will go on and on. So thank you so much.